Menace. Menace is sobriety.
Your thoughts on the AA, because you had quite a interesting thought on the AA. A lot of my comments, because I never went to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of I had the feeling that it would be unfair for me to go there because I wasn't alcohol dependent, and I've kind of felt like that my struggle with alcohol and drugs wasn't strong enough to go and sit down there, and I felt like people might be like, look, you can go without, so you're all right. And also I'd heard rumours that about it, and I wasn't sure. It is something that I might explore, I don't know. But what was your thoughts on alcohol?
So I found that like the camaraderie, just talking to people who are in the same position as me, invaluable. It was like such a big thing, and it's personally, I found on the whole it was very positive. So you turning up.
Did you go? Yeah.
Yeah, I went 2 major stints I did at AA. So going in, people are very friendly, but not overly so you don't have to talk if you don't want to. But just sitting down and talking to people and realising you're not alone, other people, I found massively powerful. Where I struggled slightly was with the actual steps, because, I mean, I spent time in the military. I don't mind doing stuff because I'm told to do it, but I like to see a reason for it. And I kind of struggled slightly with the steps. And what I found was when you're saying, well, how and why does this help? It just does, so just do it. And I think the problem is, for many years, people haven't understood addiction, and it's almost become acceptable to not understand it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's just addiction. You're just an
don't
alcoholic.
question it. One of the worst things I ever heard was don't try and rationalise addiction. I mean, why should, you might fail, but why would you not? This is what we humans do. We try and understand things so we can further our knowledge and understanding and all the rest of it. So that was my experience. I mean, I would say whatever helps people is good. That's the first thing. The main negative I have with AA is that not all the time, but people are quite often told if it's not working, you're doing it wrong, you need to do it more or harder or different or better. Whereas what I think they should be saying, and I say this to people, if this doesn't work for you, try something else.
Yeah.
There's a lot out there.
Yeah. Yeah, and your book, it seems to have quite an analytical look at, it's like you analyse it a lot.
Yeah, I did do a chapter on AA, and the reason I did that, because it was written now a few years ago, and there's a lot more out there than AA now, but at the time AA was the big thing. So when people had a problem, they quite often went to AA, and if AA didn't work, it was almost like that added to their list of questions, because why hasn't it worked for me? And that's why I ended up putting a chapter in there on how I see AA and how it works, just because I think it was helpful for people who'd got into a problem, gone to AA thinking it would help. For whatever reason, it hasn't helped, just to understand that additional dynamic, if you like.
Yeah, I think that I'm just having a look through your chapters here, which will inspire more interesting questions. But I think just before I get into all that, that today has taught me or reminded me how difficult the first 3-4 weeks was for me, because I suddenly had this feeling like, am I going to drink? Like, I had this really weird thing happen to me today. I was on my own. I don't know, like, I've been really pushing myself hard, training and fitness and everything like that. Maybe swapped one addiction for another addiction, like that having to do everything in fucking excess. And this week, a couple of things happened, like I said, but I didn't train in the mornings. I thought I'm just going to give myself a break. I felt like I'd hit a wall, and I feel like maybe that has made me feel a little bit vulnerable, and I don't know why, but
no, it does, because I do a similar thing. I kind of like not swapped alcohol for exercise, but I always exercised a lot. I like how it makes me feel. It's a good way of stress relief. All the rest of it, I did it a lot in the army, so that kind of got me into the habit of it. And I found when I'm not drinking, because you're not hungover loads, you can exercise more. Yeah. But you still need rest days. Yeah. You have to have them. And I think there can be a danger when you have a rest day. You haven't got that endorphin from having done exercise. So you kind of feel a bit flat. And of course, talking about what we talked about earlier, your brain's then, where can I get this buzz from?
Yeah, you're right. That's probably what's happened to me.
Yeah.
Menace is sobriety. Just a menace. Just a menace. Just a menace. Menace is sobriety.